91 restaurants in UAE under 2 decades. How did this happen?
Well, one pizza at a time. That's how it happened. Yes, the growth was not as fast in the beginning because obviously we had to prove the business model and we were doing that. But we really took off after 2015, but especially after 2019. In 2019, we were 45 restaurants. And we've just doubled our size since then. I started knocking doors of local businesses, and finally, this gentleman welcomed me and gave me a job in a restaurant.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate pineapples on your pizza?
So we lost half our restaurant count overnight.
Hello everyone, my name is Shivani and welcome to the launch episode of Beyond the Boardroom. Beyond the Boardroom is not just a podcast series for me, it is something which is very, very dearly attached to my heart. When I was growing up, I was always told that you got to respect people of every single industry from where they come from. Be they are bakers, be they are educationists, be they are artists, be they are dancers, be they are wealth managers, everyone, be politicians. I am so fortunate to have been known so many great people who are doing great work in every single industry they are from. Beyond the Boardroom is a great, insightful podcast series which will let common people like us meet the common people like you. So when I was launching my podcast, my team came up with some wonderful names, some maestros from various industries. And I topped it up by saying, I want to get my first guest, someone who is my friend, who is my mentor, and someone who inspires me in my work every day. I look up to him as a father. I look up to him as a person who continues to encourage me in every area of my life. He's none other than Tapan Vaidya, the CEO of Papa John's, someone who believes in ROC over ROI. ROC is very dear to him, which is return of customers over return of investment. I am so proud that I've been able to launch my podcast series with none other than my most favorite, Tapan Vaidya. Hello, Tapan sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Shani, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to our chat.
So, Tapan sir, I'm coming straight to the point. 91 restaurants in UAE under 2 decades. How did this happen?
Well, one pizza at a time. That's how it happened. No, it's obviously it's a story in itself. We first opened in 2005. The first restaurant was in Mall of the Emirates.
Wow.
And then we've tried all formats in malls, in neighborhoods, in gas stations. And fortunately for us, every format worked out. And so even now we continue to add to neighborhood stores, malls, gas stations, but equally we are also into cloud kitchens.
Really?
And they do well for us too. So yes, the growth was not as fast in the beginning because obviously we had to prove the business model and we were doing that. But we really took off after 2015, but especially after 2019. Although one would think COVID would have slowed us down, but no, that didn't happen. We started flying after 2019, and we pretty much, in 2019, we were 45 restaurants, and we've just doubled our size since then.
Amazing. So how are you as a child? You always had the passion to be in the F&B industry. You had some knowledge, or you were intrigued to, create your own food brand.
Another long story. So I'm from a family of mathematicians, all academicians really. My grandfather was a mathematics teacher who grew to be the principal of a school. My father, he is a Fulbright scholar. He went to the US to do his PhD in mathematics.
Wow.
My grandfather's brother, so my father's uncle, Dr. P.C. Vaidya, he was also a mathematician and a physicist. In fact, Vaidya matrix, the very well-known phenomena in the theory of relativity, for which he's famous. So, growing up in a family of mathematicians, the conversations at the dining table all about mathematics and academics. So it was, but I always loved food, right? So when I was doing my undergrad bachelor's in mathematics, I needed cash. So I started knocking doors of local businesses, and finally, this gentleman welcomed me and gave me a job in a restaurant. And that worked out very well because I quickly realized to be successful, all really what you have to do while waiting at tables, all you have to really do is make that customer happy. Make him happy, and you're on, because the customer is going to come back to give you more business, but he's also going to leave you a fat tip.
Amazing.
Which was all the reason I was. And the added bonus was, once you make friends with the chefs, you get to eat lovely food all the time. So that.
Who knows it better than me?
So that. So that love just became so strong. I never left the industry. I finished my studies, but I never left the industry.
Fabulous. So 30 years ago, Dubai was a different ballgame altogether. F&B was very minimal. I don't think so. It was a tourist spot until unless people came in different industries and made it grow. So what do you think? What did that shift happen now?
I think a good question, because Dubai, while it was different from what it is today, it was still the leader in the region, right? So I landed in 1989, that's many, many years ago. But even at that point in time, Dubai was always ahead of the rest of the region and always in the leadership, always making progressive decisions. And so, yes, while the landscape was of a different size and scale back then, we were in the front. And that has just continued over time. Series of progressive decisions. And Dubai has just never looked behind. I agree, the number of cuisines back then was limited. But that is now just, there's not many world cuisines that we don't have in Dubai. And obviously the nationality count, more than 200 nationalities.
Yeah.
This is the true melting pot in the world.
Yeah. And where do you see that in these 2 decades of Papa John's? Has it really evolved with time?
Oh, very much so. So back in the early days, Papa John's was more a family restaurant where people would go, enjoy the ambience, and eat freshly baked hot pizzas. And that used to be the case in the 90s. And then the advent of satellite TV kind of started to change this. And then once internet came, streaming came, OTT came, it just kept going the convenience way. People started using apps, website to place orders, to get pizza delivered home. So the business model has changed drastically over time. What it used to be in the 90s or in the 2000s, that is not the case anymore. Aggregators came in and they changed the game entirely. So today's business model is completely different from what it used to be. Again, it's challenging, but I think a good operator should take this challenge on and continue to do well. Aggregators, as I said, are strong, and it is in the operator's interest to work with them rather than not work with them and make hay.
Amazing. So, I'm from the F&B background myself, and being a chef and being a business owner back in India and here as well. Innovation, I feel, is one of the key things, and to be consistent with innovation is what I believe in. What was your strategy for Papa John's when it comes to innovating and being with the trends of people asking for vegan cheese pizza or gluten-free and alternative flour, no sugars? How were you able to match up? Because I remember, whatever little I know, that Papa John's was very clear and clean about their own dough. It was very popular about its own dough, So where did you see that whole innovation strategy?
So Papa John's the brand used to believe in the main thing is the main thing. So in before 2015, Papa John's almost did not innovate much because the main thing was always the main thing. So make a good pizza, the better pizza, and keep selling it. But then Papa John's, the brand, realized that markets are evolving, consumers are evolving, generations are changing, and there is a clear need to innovate. And so that's how Papa John's started innovating. In fact, almost every quarter we came up with something new. Okay. The current innovation, if I may talk about this, is called a crispy palm pizza, where what we've done is we flipped the crust and put
Okay.
cheese at the bottom. So you actually
Oh,
get a
wow.
pizza where you have the normal pizza with the cheese on top and the toppings and the sauce, but also at the bottom of the crust we have Parmesan cheese, golden baked into the crust. So it is crispy and it's heavenly in terms of taste.
What's your favorite pizza?
My favorite, we have this thing called Super Papas. That is my favorite. It's got all the toppings.
So you like all the toppings. You're a topping person. So what about COVID? You said that initially that you said that you made tremendous growth in COVID. But how did it go? And you also spoke about cloud kitchen, which is my deep interest. And I feel cloud kitchens are always going to sustain a pandemic, a war, any situation we come across. Tell me something about it.
So COVID wasn't easy. Yes, we grew, but let me explain how. It wasn't easy it was around the end of March when the UAE government decided all malls should close. And of our 46 odd restaurants back then, half of them were inside malls. So we lost half our restaurant count overnight.
Oh my God.
Now that was a big blow. But we had to rise to the challenge. We had to decide first, what do we do with our team? Because we had a full team running 46 restaurants. So after some careful thinking, we made this decision, and I'm glad I made this call. We decided not to let a single soul go to COVID.
Wow.
We
Commendable.
decided that, COVID will come and go, but where will I find trained employees? And so we decided to continue with everyone, and we did. And not only that, and what we also did was of the remaining restaurants that we had, we kind of expanded their trade areas. So usually we work with a very small, tight trade area around a restaurant where we deliver. But now with half of our restaurants gone, we expanded the trade area and started doing more volume per unit.
Okay.
And somehow we managed the 3 months, April, May, June, and then in July, malls started opening, all the restaurants started opening, business started to come back, especially because pizza was still, something you eat at home.
Absolutely.
And delivery-centric product. And so we started opening more and more restaurants after that. And 2021 was one of our best years ever.
Really? Amazing. So tell me something that, the whole trend today is going towards healthy eating, clean eating. And QSRs are, of course, one of the most important pillars of any F&B industry, right? In any form. Be pizza, be burgers, be anything. Where do you see that, nowadays people are calling stuff from farm to table? They are looking at gluten-free flours. They're looking at vegan stuff. Where do you see Papa John's reaching in the QSR model moving forward to the future?
So at Papa John's, we definitely want to be able to cater to every taste from different sets of consumers. And there's no question that a large set is growing, in fact, looking at health options, looking at vegan options. And so we already have made good foray into, we have a range of vegan pizzas. We have some fantastic vegan toppings,
Nice.
plant-based proteins that we serve. And it's doing well, and that trend is growing. And we are happy with the numbers that we see every day in UAE. And we don't think, although many people seem to suggest it could be a fad, I don't think so. It's strong, and it will continue to go that way.
Nice. And with all this thought process that you come up with a very strong sense of consciousness, I would say, what is that kind of a legacy that you leave behind your team people? Because I see you everywhere with your team. And that's something which is only a visionary can do. I don't see that, and it's inspiring definitely, but you are always there with your team. So what is it that drives you to that?
Well, restaurant business, I always say, is hard business.
Very.
And to win in this business, you've got to have teamwork, you've got to be with your teams. And so teams win, individuals don't in our industry, and that's a fact. I've experienced that throughout my career. And it is ultimately the team which really is customer facing, which is really bringing in the moolah. And I just am very comfortable being with the team.
It's amazing to see you, all your posts. You're there for some golf tournaments, you're standing with the team. There's a new launch. There was a pizza for one AED. You all launched that amazing campaign and you were there with your team giving the pizzas to people. And I think it's, at a CEO level and also a part of the whole investment fund, you're the founder. And it's just so amazing to know someone who can actually do that. So, what's the main mantra of Mr. Tapan Vaidya's whole day to keep him going like that?
Well, there are many actually. Let me start with this. I tell my teams to perform ROC with every transaction. ROC stands for return of customer. Take such great care of every customer that the customer only thinks of returning. And once customers start to return, that's all you need to grow your business. And we talk about ABCD, which is above and beyond the call of duty. If you go ABCD, ROC will naturally happen. And I think everyone in our team at Papa John's know that if we take care of ROC, ROI will take care of itself.
That's really, really well said. So, introducing to my second segment, which is winning the recipe. I want to ask you, what is the most important factor when it comes to partnership?
I think the most important aspect in any partnership should be transparency. I think both parties, if the goal is one and common, and if both parties are transparent with each other and give their best to the relationship, then success should not be very far. But I think transparency is very important, especially in the world of restaurant franchising, where I come from. Transparency is extremely important, and that's the reason why we are so successful in our relationship with Papa John's International, the brand owners. And I think transparency is probably reigns supreme.
Amazing. So, give me that one instance which has somewhat changed your life. That I want to be in UAE or F&B. That one instant that came into your mind and your heart.
Oh, there have been so many.
I'm all ears. Please let me do so many. Because every single answer of yours is so... it's just like you just want to pack up everything and start working like Tapan Vaidya. I would love to do that.
No, I mean, the fact that... I have been in the region now 36 years. And so many incidents have continued to fuel my journey forward. I will give you one recent example of, currently Papa John's UAE, Saudi and Jordan, PJP Investments, we are owned by a private equity fund. And it was in 2022 that the fund restructured the ownership of PJP Investments, at which point it was possible for some of my colleagues to invest in the company.
Wow.
I have my investment, but I invested again in 2022 to top that up. But what really worked wonders for me was the fact that around 8 of our executives in my team, they put in their hard-earned cash into the business.
Wow.
So we now have, co-owners working for the business, and which is fantastic. Everyone with their skin in the game, it can't get any better.
That's amazing. That's such a great concept. Really, really amazing. I should actually get inspired and do that for Gourmestan in India. Okay, so people always talk about work-life balance, and whatever little bit information I've been able to gather about you. In the 20s and 30s, you were always working. And do you now see a work-life balance?
I mean, work-life balance is relative to individuals.
Bang on.
For me, life is work.
Beautiful.
So, I'm not seeking any balance because I'm happy doing my work. But yes, I like for example, this weekend, I made sure I played a round of golf, even though we were at 45 degrees Celsius.
Amazing.
And my skin was roasting, but unfortunately, the love of that game is stronger than some of the hardships we face on the golf course. But no, I try and do that. But having said that, even while taking a shot or while putting, I might still be thinking about my next promotion and the offer that I might create for consumers that hopefully would be a super hit offer.
Amazing. This is so all the time the work is there. It's running in the mind.
Yes, I mean, that's now the habit.
Amazing. So, jumping to the next segment, all things food, I want to first ask you it's very close to my heart, and everybody asks me that question. On the scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate pineapples on your pizza?
0.
Why?
Pineapple, no chance on my pizza.
Really?
Oh, absolutely
On a
not.
Papa John's pizza?
Oh, no. So for Papa John's, it's different. We have a sizable Filipino community in UAE who love pineapple on their pizza. So we have this product called Hawaiian pizza, which has turkey, ham, and pineapple. It is our 5th largest selling pizza. And so, yes.
Which is the first one?
Oh, the first pizza is pepperoni nowadays. Pepperoni pizza is the first. Oh, beg your pardon, actually. It is spicy chicken ranch.
Yes.
Pepperoni is number 2. So spicy chicken ranch is the number 1 pizza. In fact, yeah, it has the largest sales mix in our menu.
Super. And if any living or non-living legend in the world you would want to have your meal with at Papa John's, who would that be?
The one person I really would want to, but he wouldn't probably eat a pizza, would be Mahatma Gandhi. So I think I'll select a second one. I think I'll probably invite Sir Charles Chaplin for a pizza meal. I'm sure he'll enjoy it with me.
Yeah. And the living legend?
Mahatma Gandhi? What about him? He probably wouldn't enjoy a pizza, so
Why?
I'm not sure.
He's lived in South Africa and traveled to UK and here and there.
He sure did. But if I do get that opportunity, I'd really want to know more about him. And yes, I've read his books, but there is a lot more to him, I'm sure. And I'd want to know everything about him and his thought processes and how, the idea of nonviolence and the power of nonviolence, with which he pretty much single-handedly got freedom at midnight for India.
Yeah, completely agree. It's difficult because I feel that violence also starts in your thought, and then it moves into your words, and then moves into your action. So I think it's just I've read one of his books as well, and I was amazed that his whole thought process never shifted. It never shifted at all for anything. Even there were atrocities, there was adversity, there was whatnot, but his thought process never shifted. So sometimes I wonder, what was he eating really to keep his thought process so clean? Because we all binge eat and our thought process go haywire. So amazing. So what's your most favorite guilty pleasure?
Favorite guilty pleasure. So there is this restaurant in New York City that I try and, it's far from Dubai, right? But I make sure every time I go to the US, I take a detour and do a day in New York City at least, so that I can visit this restaurant and eat pastrami sandwich. This is the best pastrami ever in the world. This restaurant, the name is Katz's Deli, and it opened in 1889, I think, and
Wow.
it is known to be one of the oldest restaurants still trading from the same location. And the pastrami, the corned beef sandwich, it's just to die for.
I'm going to take this restaurant's name from you because I'm planning to visit the US soon and I definitely want to try this. Amazing. Okay. And if you had to choose one pizza topping that you would eat for the rest of your life,
It will have to be Italian sausage at Papa John's, because that topping, it's protein, that's good, but the flavor is unbelievable. It has this lingering taste of fennel seeds, long after you've eaten it. It's just amazing.
super. So tell me, sir, that, you inspire me always, but there are a lot of youngsters sitting in front and wanting to be the next Papa John's, wanting to be coming up with a buzzing idea in QSR and be Cloud Kitchen. What is those 3 important advice that you want to give to any buzzing entrepreneur outside?
I think one thing is that they must never compromise on quality, because the day you do that, the business starts to fall apart. And if you continue to maintain your quality and your standards, then you have hope to be able to build your business. The other thing I would tell them is you must never underprice yourself. Make sure you're covering your costs and margins adequately. But obviously, you don't want to overprice yourself either. So it is not easy, but the challenge is to find that sweet spot and price yourself properly. And then continue to maintain quality, business will come. I mean, I always have believed, and this is what I tell my teams, if you chase excellence, success will chase you.
Amazing. Very well said. I'm going to take this back. But just the last thing I want to ask you is, how would you define yourself if Papa John's is not with you?
How would I define myself if I were not in Papa John's? I am certain I would still be in the restaurant business, and I'm certain I would still be trying my best to put a big smile on every customer's face so that they come back to smile again.
Amazing. That's so good. Thank you so much for being here. And I am always grateful. And I have to say it live. You make me so nervous. I have to go back and check what wrong am I doing because I have to match up with you. Oh my God, you are... you have no idea how many people you really inspire in the F&B industry, and I am one of them.
You are too kind.
No, I'm not kind. And I want to just jump back to your question of talking a little bit about Rishi Kapoor, who's your favorite. Come on, tell me something about Rishi Kapoor.
Oh, Rishi Kapoor is an outstanding actor that I have probably followed from his first movie, Bobby, Khel Khel Mein, and all those movies of the 70s, including his depiction of Akbar in Amar Akbar Anthony. Outstanding. I mean, I've actually seen him. There was a movie called Dusra Admi.
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to be on a set of that movie once when I was a kid.
Wow.
And yeah, I've seen both him and Neetu Singh up close. But no, he was an iconic actor, no question. Whether acting, dancing, and obviously, while he had playback singers, but all his songs just outstanding.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you have the strike of enjoying Bollywood movies as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, movies have always been one's pastime in this region for the last 30 years. And yes, whether it's Bollywood or Hollywood, I'm always game for a movie at least once every other weekend.
And what do you really want to give back to UAE? What do you really think that UAE has given to you, or this region for that matter, and what you would want to give back to UAE when you retire and you're just like, I don't want you to retire. I want you to continue to inspire people and keep opening Papa John's around the world, not just Gulf, but yeah.
No, so what has happened is age kind of tries to always catch up with people. But I've always believed it's not age, it's about mileage. And but what I have realized is, yes, a day might come when I may have to consider retiring. So why don't I give my best right now with the number of years that I have left? And so I am in office before 8 every morning. I make sure I give my best, not only to Papa John's, but also to the industry, because this industry has done everything for me. All my career, whatever I am today is thanks to the industry. And so now is my time definitely to give back. So I'm also the treasurer on the executive board of UAE Restaurants Group. I try to give my best there. And, so I will continue to give back to the industry in the UAE as well as in the GCC. And now with us having signed on India, that's another big project. And I can't wait to get cracking in India.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for being here. I am very, always overwhelmed whenever I see you, because it's such a great bond and it's such a great respect that I hold for you. And this has been a tremendous journey for me in Dubai, and I always look up to you, not just respect to F&B, but as a human being. I think the way your demeanor is, the way you make everyone comfortable, encourage, I think I yet have to see somebody like you who's the actual papa in the industry of F&B. So thank you so much, Tapan sir, for being here.
Oh, thank you. You're kind, and it was a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.